Hello everybody, and welcome back to the New Orleans Museum of Art. I'm Russell Ward, the Curator of Photographs here at the museum, and we're standing in the exhibition Tina Freeman Lamentations. This exhibition pairs images from the Arctic and Antarctic regions with images from the Louisiana wetlands to create a kind of series of narratives about the precarious existence of both glacial landscapes and the Louisiana landscape. As many people are aware, the sea level is rising, and in recent years, storms have gathered greater strength and have had a huge impact on our area in particular. So as Tina Freeman likes to point out, what's happening in the glacial regions, the melting of ice, ends up here in our backyard. We're standing, however, in front of a picture that's a little bit of an outlier. In this exhibition, most of the work is pure landscapes without any evidence of human activity, but in this pair here we have the presence of human endeavor. On the left is a picture from Deception Island in Antarctica. It's been one of the kind of longest and most well-researched islands making up the continent of Antarctica. And on the right, we have a picture that is very familiar to those of us here in Louisiana, these large liquid containment storage facilities that often are used to store petroleum products and oil. Believe it or not, on the left, that's what these tanks were originally used for. These are evidence of the old whaling industry. So while we have two pictures about the harvesting of different kinds of things for human activity, they're essentially linked to the same practice, the oil industry, because of course in the whaling industry blubber was rendered into oil and used for a wide variety of purposes. The other thing that Tina Freeman likes to explore in this project is the differences in scale, and oftentimes you have no idea what scale you're looking at, because if we were standing in a landscape at a certain place at a certain time, we would certainly know the vastness or the smallness of that landscape. But in a photograph, when it's pulled out of context, you might not be aware of what you're looking at. Thankfully, here we actually have a clue to the size of these tanks. These tanks, there's a very clear sense of scale with the chain link fence in front. They're huge. Over here, we have two seagulls that are perched on the top of this structure, which reveals that they're much smaller than the oil containment facilities here in Louisiana, but nevertheless, a story kind of linking these distant places, and then it has to do with oil. On my right over here, in this next pair of pictures, we have a very different vantage point. Those were made on the ground. Here we see two pictures that Tina Freeman made from the air, in both cases from a plane. On the left-hand side is a picture from Iceland, and on the right is a picture of South Louisiana near Wax Lake. One of the things that Tina likes to do in this exhibition is play with the elements of photography to create two pairs. So often what you're looking at is a negative and a positive, and that's the case here. On the left, you actually have glacial runoff carving its way through this brown and black sand in Iceland. And on the right, you have sand carving its way through water, or sand or silt, as it's deposited by the Mississippi River. So here we have evidence of the melting glaciers, but on the right-hand side, this is actually a positive picture of what the Mississippi River can do. It, if left to its own devices, can build land, but of course, it's redirected for all kinds of reasons. It's shut down. What happens anywhere from Minneapolis to here can affect what happens in Louisiana and in New Orleans. Nevertheless, these two pictures are essentially showing the opposite thing happening far apart at these kind of distant ends of the globe, and yet they are importantly linked in this exhibition. Tina Freeman Lamentations is up until March 15th. There's a wonderful catalog that accompanies the show that includes all of these works. So please come out and see the exhibition for yourself and order a copy of the book.